Where are we going?
Elsie's compound.
Good, how are you? This is my family, brother.
Hey, how are you?
Dad.
Good to meet you.
Eli. You gonna shake hands or what?
What's your name?
Elijah.
Elijah? What's your name?
Jesse.
Jesse.
Cool. Hey guys.
How are you doing?
Good, how are you? This is where they answer all the calls. And then we have the Sims. If you want to rip them, you can come in here. This is all the FTF shelving. Yeah, these are all our parts. And then this area is going over to Adams. Long Beach, round 2, which would have been the last round.
Let's take a look. Adam LZ, that's Drift HQ. BMW, remember, he's fighting for second. Oh!
I'm still completely shocked at the amount of damage done.
It's a taco.
Like, look at the Uniball cup, how it's like
Actually, oval.
spread open. All the force was exerted through this point.
Right.
This point. So when you look at the damage to an arm, you can say unequivocally that you could reduce material in these 3 regions more so, but ultimately this as a fail point is pretty perfect. And then
safe.
these pins in wall crashes, I've seen people just cut the pin out and then put a new pin in, but Adam, when he hit the wall, just continued to go into the wall. And I tell you, this material does not do this easily.
No.
Like,
No.
to do that's crazy. This is his older chassis. I think he's reviving it. And then this one's the current FD car. What's up, brother?
How you guys doing?
Good, how are you? Good to see you, man.
Too. How are you? Good to see you.
Brother, good to see you, Sean. Yeah, great to
Hey.
be here.
What's up, Eli? What's your name?
Jesse.
Nice to meet you. I'm Sean.
You guys have met before,
I
right?
like your shirt.
Yeah, he's all cooked from
Yeah.
Disneyland.
Disney? Awesome. I'll stop here just to show you the upper Heim.
Yes.
So these appear to be at a different angle than the factory ones.
Yeah, it was mostly for compression.
Got it.
It would be significantly better aligned, but we could put a high misalignment spacer there.
Okay.
And then it can go like way further.
Got it.
It's because
Right now we can't droop it enough to get the spring out, so we're like jumping on it just to get it past and bind.
Oh, so we'll put a high misalignment there and then it'll go way further. So that's no issue. But yeah, I guess the giant tire makes it so the ride
The
height's
ride height's high.
high.
We kind of want to lower it just a little bit, just to
Yeah.
get rid of some instant out of the car, but that's
Yeah.
a different story. Something was preventing us from running these all the way in. I don't know if something in the pocket was hitting
From all the way in this way?
that way, like max toe in.
Okay.
So we pulled the bracket out and we threw a shim in there.
Yeah. Yeah, these were intended to be 50.
Okay.
So that you could add up to 4
Got it.
shims, which you'd be like ridiculously
One
towing.
is fine, yeah. This is close. I think it's okay.
Yeah, it doesn't look like
But
it. will.
if someone moves their cell a little bit over, they're gonna crash into it.
I definitely made a note of that because we can just bring this in, bring this over, and then I'm just gonna create a pocket here, like that shape to access here,
Okay.
and then it would be
This looks a little funny, but maybe because it's that droop, like angle-wise.
the angle. It's because I made this perfectly square with the toe.
Okay.
So this is in line with the face of the knuckles,
Understood.
so a
Got it.
toe change is exactly only toe.
Got it.
Whereas if I angled this, you'd be doing, technically you'd be doing wheelbase and
Got it.
toe.
Which Inofa keeps telling me to scoot it back.
The wheelbase.
Just for clearance here, it's tight with this wheel.
Well, we could easily make that adjustment in this foot. Like
Okay.
you just make the foot a little bit different and then it'll move
It's
it back.
easy for you to make another one and try it. Sure.
Well, the thing was you could make all kinds of, because this is unboltable,
Yeah.
if you had no FD rules, you would make a rear toe arm bucket that's got like a bunch
Yeah.
of holes. You would make that foot
Yep.
way taller or shorter. You can do all kinds of different things with it.
Cricket they found.
They trying to Catch it or kill it.
No, we found you got to move forward.
Yeah, because that foot can come off, you can kind of do anything with this
Yeah,
kit.
yeah.
You can be like, we're not in this series anymore, let's go crazy. Sure, new foot.
We have to knock the ABS ring off of these to clear the bolts, no big deal. This has really nice angles, good clearance, I don't think that moved or anything.
Yeah. Cool.
E-brake, the caliper's on with a little more contact surface than before. Because we had some adapters that were made and they
It
were a
was
little
not
off.
correct, so
Yeah.
it's the same now. So the pad wear is going to be
A little
perfect.
better. Yeah.
I mean, I got the exact Willwood kit from Willwood and then I threw it all in, so it should be perfect. It's nice that it's integrated with the knuckle. And you
I
could,
think I did this by just checking the compression without a spring. I don't think this will hit right now at normal ride height.
yeah, so just, I'll put a clearance there for sure. I should have done it anyways, but noted as well. And then you guys have run these forever. These are like the Drift HQ ones, aren't they?
Dude, they've been in the car forever.
Yeah, and then they do this lower change. This would be exactly 50 mil. Pretty much every BMW does it. These cars have far too much roll center, and it's also going to help with the camber gain, but then it makes toe change worse.
Yeah, we changed it depending on the track. So
So definitely messing with that along with a rear bar, which I don't even know if you guys run one or not.
just for bank tracks.
Yeah, but you can mess with your roll center on these cars based on ride height, control arm location, and rear sway bar. And a lot of guys, like with our kit, we give you holes for both the uppers and the lowers with the full grip kit that we run, with more holes on this side as well.
Yeah.
You have 3 holes on the top and bottom that you can mess with, but that's only if you go with the true coilover, which you guys prefer to run it divorced. And that's why we're maintaining an OEM upper. You've never used an E36 rear upper before?
No.
It's probably for the better. They would likely fail quite easily.
They're cast?
Aluminum,
Yeah, cast aluminum.
yeah.
Right? Got it. These work, man. Like, it's just simple.
Yeah, I mean, you put a bearing in this end, or is it already a bearing?
It's rubber.
It's a rubber on this car. It's
factory
always,
rubber.
yeah, it's always interesting to relay what matters and what doesn't in racing, and it's very well known that tires are 60, maybe even 80% of everything. If you're at a track, at an endurance race,
Yeah.
and you're not running, what was it, the Hankook RS4
Yeah.
in an endurance race, if you show up with anything but that tire, you're just gonna lose.
Got it.
Doesn't matter what you do for suspension, doesn't matter what you did for the car.
Yep.
If you don't have it, you're losing. People seem to have lost that in drifting, and they think that all these things matter a lot. Realistically, a bushing to a bearing would be a 1%, maybe less than that difference.
It's just time, too much. Like, we already have to modify them once. That's
Yeah.
the whole point of this, and not have to make a bunch of trailing arms like that over there.
Yeah, exactly. So the OEM trailing arms require a bunch of modifications to them anyways. So coming up with an OEM trailing arm, even though we made a rear grip kit, our rear grip kit really is only for high-level competitive drifting, and it really can't be used for anything else, whereas LZ wanting to run the OEM knuckle actually gives us a space in the market to make an OEM rear knuckle, because rally guys oftentimes snap these as well.
Yeah.
Good to see you.
Yeah, you too, man.
How you guys doing?
Hey, good Adam.
I like your shirt. Yeah, good to see you.
Eli, Jesse,
What's
Joel.
up, guys? Good to see you. How's Florida?
It's great.
Amazing.
Hot. Cooking. It's great. Looks like a couple little tweaks and then we'd be there. Not bad for a couple days design, to be honest.
It looks pretty.
Yeah. No, it looks really cool from the rear of the car, looking into it.
How different are these from your other trailing arms?
Quite a bit.
Got it.
Yeah, way different. Like the ones that like O'Sully and Hughes and them are running, way different.
I know the geometry is, but I didn't know construction-wise if you changed a lot.
Yeah, it's totally different. Keeping the bearings on the knuckle makes these more involved
Got it.
because we just put a Heim on the arm. That's where the bearing is.
Understood.
Whereas on this one, you have to get the cup connected to the trailing arm.
Got it.
And this is how OEM is. So realistically, this has probably a bigger market because it's a direct replacement
Got it.
for road race guys, for anyone.
True.
Whereas the other one is like drift only. And you have to do a bunch of stuff to the subframe. It adds a bunch of holes and options. And for some teams, that's beneficial. Like the Sorensens run it, O'Sully runs it, Hughes runs it. but then others simple as key.
Yep.
Like you can definitely overdo it.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, exactly.
We get complicated in the front.
Yeah, that's true. The only thing I want to make sure is clear, like crystal clear, is like the major differences. And I actually wanted to remove adjustment from the LZ spec because I just don't want people to be like, well, where do I run it? Why do I run it this way? No. But we did a couple changes that really seem to have shown up perfectly. Because usually this extra bend here, you can see the lines there, that's what's giving you the ability to run such a high caster KPI and still have good bearing articulation. That's really what your kit was struggling with, because we kicked the bearing at a 5-degree angle, but because you're running 9 camber and then 10 or 11 caster, it just couldn't do it. So this extra bend on this angle allowed that to work. M12 hardware, or just metric everywhere, which
I ordered all spare standard.
you did
The
not.
old kit.
Oh, we would have sent it to you, but
Oh, it's fine. I want to make master cars, couple bucks.
well, that kit will go on the E36 or like a bunch of.
E36 has it, but I need help with aligning that. But we'll talk later on that.
Yeah,
You know, another thing that's important too is like even getting as granular as like the tire. Because like, you know, we're obviously riding so much on the edge of the tire that if you put a tire that doesn't have good grip there, it's going to feel like shit.
well, we were just saying the tires are, in every other form of racing, are very clearly the 80% factor of competitiveness. And you've tried this kit with different tires.
Yeah, because we have it on the Euro car as well. I don't think that'll be as much of an issue, but it's just like, again, like there's so many variables that come into play. I mean, we have the car's race ready, so we're going to test it with you here.
Like it's just,
Smells so good.
it's just a ridiculous size car because it's so small. It's just unfair to put that much power, grip, and mechanical advantage into such a small car.
That shit sounds crazy. So some of those changes did something good.
Yeah, I think it was mostly we made the bearing allowed to articulate that far with your crazy alignments.
Hey, so my S15 is doing the same thing right now.
It could be a similar problem. We'll take a look at it. Hello. Man, V8 what? Like it just goes.
Yeah, rocket.
It moves fast. To have no lag,
Yeah,
like when he gets back into it,
insane.
it's just gone.
No nitrous either.
Yeah, you could totally write something off on a tree here pretty easily. Sounds good.
I'm very happy with it. Thank you.
Good. Yep.